Well, hello, my loyal Cosimanian Orthodox. This is your old friend, the evil, the wicked, the nefarious archfiend himself, Uncle Chucky. And today we're going to do old school Psionic archfiendness. Well, it's not really archfiendness, actually. Let's see, I gotta get in the picture here. I know at the time this arrangement, figuring out where I'm supposed to be and where stuff is, and I may have to actually get a camera person and a regular camera to do this. Oh God, more work. Anyway, there are three reasons why people get into psionics, basically. There are a couple other minor ones like healing and boring stuff like that. But the three real reasons people get into psionics are as follows. Get money, get laid, kill people you don't like. Those are the reasons. Oh, no, we would never do it. Come on, be honest. That's what you're into. I get people really annoyed with me because I insist on telling the truth. People don't like to hear that. They like to think of themselves as sweetness and light and garden fairies and, oh, they are a bunch of garden gnomes looking to trip people while they're mowing the lawn. That's what they are. People were actually honest about themselves. Life would be a lot more interesting in all sorts of ways. But anyway, well, tonight's talk is something I really didn't even think about doing. I was talking to Dr. Mulder, my instrument maker, the creator of these wonderful devices. And he said I should make a video about getting chicks. Well, I will confess the thought hadn't occurred to me in a long time. I have been happily married for, what is it now? 17 years. And my wife and I have known each other for, it'll be 19 years next month. So this is something that hadn't really occurred to me in a very long time. And I, oh, okay. Then I go, how the hell am I going to talk about this? Because I don't remember. It's been so long. And the methods have changed. The common methods of meeting people have changed. Admittedly, my wife and I, we met on AOL. We actually met online. And then we met each other physically, and we were never apart. It was lust at first sight. But, you know, there are all kinds of different apps now for meeting people and websites for meeting people and, you know, and so it's not like the old days when you actually had to go out and meet people. But in the final analysis, it comes down to there's a physical meeting. Well, I'm old-fashioned. I think the best way, if you're looking for a partner, is to be in a place where that partner is likely to be. In the AOL days, it was the chat rooms. That's how we met, chat. But there were all kinds of physical locations. So I'm actually going to concentrate on using a physical location to meet somebody. Frankly, because it's the easiest. It really is. It cuts out a lot of time. But there are other ways. I mean, and it's adaptable to the other methods, of course. This is eminently adaptable to finding someone on a dating site or a hookup site or whatever they call them. And no, I'm not interested in a side chick, so don't bother to try. Oh, God. So anyway, to what we're doing. We have here the trusty helmet. Yay! We have here Radiant box. In this case, I'm using the Tepaphone. The standard box will do. The chakra box will do. This just happens to be the one I had available. This is what I'm going to use. They all work alike, frankly, with this technique. Now, let's start with, you're going to be in a place where there's lots of unattached people. You want to see if there's somebody there. Someone who might find you interesting. I know with me, if it hadn't been for Psionics, I would never have met anyone. With my face, I mean, women would take one look at me and they would dive out the nearest window to get away from me. So it was like, you know, I had to use this, or I would have been a monk, or worse. And yes, I can think of worse, believe me. Anyway, so what we have, since we've already determined the location, and like an art gallery, Renaissance fairs are great. Anything where, like I say, there are unattached people that might actually find you interesting for whatever insane reason they may have. We never know, do we? It's one of the great mysteries. It's one of the great mysteries. So, great mystery. Okay. We have here, I've got a picture of a location. I have no idea what this is. It was from an operation maybe 10 years ago or something. I have long since forgotten. I don't even know why I have this in my file. But I needed to grab something, and this is what I grabbed. And so we'll say this is, you're thinking in terms of like the local art gallery. Okay, personal prejudice. The Artists of Chicago was a favorite hunting ground of mine. That's okay. So we have this. What we're going to do is put that on the witness plate. Now, what we're going to do, and this is where it's going to get interesting. And I got to do this so I don't tangle in the antenna. Put the helmet on. And what we're going to do, let me look in the thing. Yes, I've got it on there. What we're going to do here is we're going to build a thought form in the location to make someone come out of the crowd and jump on your lap or whatever. You know. So first we have to get tuned to the location, a spot in the location. You're already familiar with the location. You can see it in your mind's eye. You know what you're doing. What you do is you close your eyes. You visualize that location, a particular spot in that location, and you tune this. And what you're doing is you're tuning this. You're zeroing in tighter and tighter on that spot. And then you do this with the helmet as well. So you're really tight, and you can see that spot. Now, you build a thought form. You visualize a thought form, and we'll just make it a sphere, a ball, building in that location. And you build it, and you build it, and you build it, and you make it really tight, and you fill it with energy. And you program that thought form to bring you the person you want. You charge it up. You turn on the amplifier, and you really get that thing charged. Because with this equipment, you can see it really, really well. Really well. You're doing remote, with this you're doing remote presence. Okay? And what you do, you get that thing good and charged, and every once in a while, you repeat the procedure, focusing on that thought form, bring you X person. And that's how that works. That brings the person to you. Now it's up to you. Okay? Now the other method. You've met the person. They're attracted to you. You get a witness of the person. You take a picture with your cell phone. Right? You get the picture print. Now you're going to need to get the picture printed up for this because this is old school radionics. Okay, you need a witness. You're going to need the witness sample, physical witness sample. And what you do with this picture, and I've got a picture of an old girlfriend here. I'm not going to show her face. I'm not going to show her on the screen. It just happens to be a picture I have. What you do with this is very simple. You have it printed up. You put it on the witness plate. Now, you take a rate for her. This is what we call a contact rate. Okay? Set that. There. Okay. Now you've got the contact rate for your target. You move her. Now, what you will do with this, there's several procedures you should follow. One is that you use it, you're in contact. This will put you in mental contact with her subconscious. And conscious if you're really good. You can interrogate her. In other words, you have your pendulum and your Ouija board, and you ask questions, about things something you want to know, like, are you married? No. Are you a lesbian? No. At least in my case. I mean, if you're a woman and you're okay, then you would get You understand my point. You're asking things you really need to know. Okay. And she passes the test. Okay, you take it away. Move her to the transmittal side. Put on the helmet. Now, okay, at this point, you just met her. It's probably a good idea to resist the temptation to psychically get in her pants. You know what? You don't want to set up something that's going to frighten her. This is the important thing. What you want, you got to be subtle with this. Yes, we all know in psionics, consent is for sissies, but we can only do so much. We're not making robots here. You gotta be subtle. And so what you do is you hit the amplifier. It turns on the amplifier. Yay! And then you have to get in. You visualize her in your head, which should be no problem because you're locked into her. And you send her thoughts of how attracted she is to you, that she can't resist you, that you're the most interesting person she has ever met in her entire life. And if you have done your homework, you will know exactly the things to send. That's why we ask the questions, you see. That's why everybody needs a Ouija board, because people admit your arm tired. And then once you know all that, you know what to send. That you can do this for her. You're interesting. But the important thing is you are interesting. And then that's it. That's all you have to do. And you just repeat that every night while she's sleeping until you meet her again. Simple, isn't it? Remember, though, this does presuppose something. It presupposes she finds you attractive. In other words, you're not the creature from the Black Lagoon. Unless she seems the creature from the Black Lagoon. You know, there are women like that. There are people like that. It works for any gender. It works for anybody. I use this because it's me talking. Okay. But it works. It works for any permutation. But what you're doing is you're amplifying the interest that is already there. You're not creating interest that can't exist. In other words, if she finds you totally repulsive, like most women would have seen my face, yeah, you test about 300 before you get the right one. You know, it's goddamn frustrating sometimes, especially after they kept jumping through the windows when you would walk in the room. And God, it was embarrassing. Those poor people had to keep replacing their windows. Though my favorite one is when one woman shouted, "Feet don't fail me now," and literally ran through the door without opening it. Oh, good heavens. The effect I had on people when I was young. Anyway, but this is a method you use. There are a whole bunch of them. I will undoubtedly do another one video on the subject, maybe a couple more. But that's your basic groundwork. So, this has been your evil Uncle Chucky. Have a delightfully evil day.